If you are ready to never ever feel like you want anyone else's approval, if you are ready to let it go forever, I want to share with you why wanting other people's approval is actually manipulation. And I know it can sound outrageous, but give me a chance to explain to you what I mean and how I came to this realization pretty recently, because it was like something clicked in my brain and I was like, oh shit, yeah, when you want other people to approve of you, you're actually trying to manipulate them in reality, and that's none of our business to do. It's actually a much kind of like a very unhealthy way of dealing with reality. So welcome. If you're new here, this is just a style of content that I make. I paint as I talk, and today I'm sharing with you how I woke up to this, because basically what I realized is when you're trying to get someone to approve of you, when you want them to like you, what you are doing is you are taking this other person, their free will to see the world in which they prefer to see it, and you are trying to impose onto someone else your perspective of reality. You are trying to take the way that you want things to be, and you are trying to change this other person's perspective and this other person's reality essentially, and their view of the world, by saying that they must like you and that their view of you and the world is invalid. And when I realized this, I was like, oh, it's not something, it's none of our business. Like, it's none of my business to want someone else to like me, because we can't control other people. And this largely comes from not validating yourself. So I also want to share with you in this video how you can stop doing this, because I think once you realize what this actually is, you're like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want ever anyone to like me unless it's their free will to like me. Like, if someone doesn't like me, I don't want to change that, right? They don't like me for a reason or whatever. This also is a weird angle. What is happening today with all these camera angles? Anyways, I'm not a pro. Okay. We have to roll with it. It's like you don't want someone to like you unless they authentically like you, because otherwise you're literally trying to control reality and you're trying to shift other people's perspective because you don't like yourself enough for that to be okay. The funny thing is, like, if you learn to like yourself, if you learn to validate yourself, you don't really need anyone else to validate you. You don't really need anyone else to approve of you, because you quite honestly don't care, because you understand that other people's validation or not, it's just a match or not a match question. What that means is, in this reality, everything is vibration and you only attract that which you are. So if someone doesn't approve of you or they don't validate you, it just means that you are not a vibrational match to them. It just means that it's not a preferable combination of the two of you. It's like oil and water. Oil and water just don't mix. Sorry, nothing's wrong with water. Nothing is wrong with oil. Neither of them have to go and change their chemical composition to be friends with each other. They just don't mix, and nothing is wrong with that. And it's the same thing with people. And you can only reach this point of letting go once you finally understand that you are okay the way that you are and you don't need to change. You don't need to change. You don't have to give up yourself. You don't have to give up your energy. You don't have to give up your needs. You don't have to give up your desires. You don't have to chase anyone. You don't have to chase anyone or change anyone either. Like, you don't have to prove yourself to anyone, because you're good enough the way that you are, and you will find people who match you where you are, and you will realize that, you know, if you constantly feel like you have to be validated and you have to change, or something's not good enough, like you're not good enough, you're basically not being the creation you're made to be. If you are made in your composition just the way that oil is, and you walk around this earth and you're primarily surrounded by people who are like water, you will not mix with them. They will not validate you. But it's not because something's wrong with you. But if you don't validate yourself, you will try to change, you will try to adjust, you will try to shift yourself so that you could become accepted. But the funny thing is, like, no matter how much you try, and no matter how much you give up yourself, no matter how much you get out of your own skin to become someone else, you cannot be something that you are not. And sooner or later, trying to be something that you are not becomes really heavy. And we have no business in this world trying to manipulate or control the way that other people view things. Because again, if you want to change someone else's perspective, you are inhibiting their free will to have an experience that they want to have. If someone doesn't like you, it's okay, it's fine. They just don't like oil. There's nothing wrong with that. Someone else will like oil. Someone else will love oil. They will love you. They will cherish you. They will adore every part of you because they see your value, because they see how beautiful you are. They will love and cherish every single piece of you, and they will appreciate every second of being in your presence because they're right for you. But if someone's not right for you, they will look at you like, what's wrong with you? I don't even want to look your way, because you're like, ugh. So it's just about, are you going to let this person who doesn't approve of you have a say in your value or your worth or how you should be? Because let me just say this, okay? There's nothing wrong with any way that you are, and if you can learn to validate and accept yourself, you really won't care who else validates you. Because once you understand that, okay, every single thing in life simply reveals to you your truth. So for example, if you feel like you are scared of someone judging you or someone rejecting you for a certain quality that you have, it can mean a couple things. Either you don't accept this quality within yourself because it's your truth and you have been shamed for it. You have been told your entire life that it's not okay to be this way, and because of that you believe no one will love you for it, which is, by the way, just a definition. Or you feel like you are shamed for it and you're feeling rejected because it's something that you actually want to change within yourself. So you have to sit with yourself and say, okay, is this something I want to change in me, or have I simply been led to believe that this is not acceptable and no one will love me for it? Which, let me just say this, okay? There's someone out there who will love you exactly the way that you are once you can learn to love yourself. I'm sorry if I still sound a little bit nasally. I usually batch record my videos for the week within a couple days so that I can do other things. But so you are made this way for a reason. And, you know, if you're unhappy with it, then change it. Change, by all means, to love yourself more. Not because you want someone else to love you, but because you will love you more. And if you don't want to change or you cannot change, it doesn't make any sense to be upset about it and do nothing about it. It's kind of, you know, it's a waste of energy and space and your precious just energy. It's kind of as if I said, I don't like the color of these walls, but if I'm doing nothing to change it, it's madness that I'm just gonna sit here and complain about the color of the walls and do nothing to change it. Like, either change it or accept it unapologetically and say, this is me and I am okay with this. And if someone doesn't like it, you are welcome to leave. I don't have to prove myself to you. You don't have to prove yourself to anyone. If there is someone in this world that makes you feel like you have to prove yourself to them, like you have to match their standard, like you are never good enough for them, that's because they're trying to, in a way, manipulate you and change you to match their reality. And it's not really, like, manipulation can sound like such a dark word, and I mean, maybe it is, but you get to choose. Will you let this person have this power over you? Will you let them to determine how you will live your life? Because listen, they're not the ones living your life. Are they inside of your body? Are they having your experience? No, you are having your own individual experience, and because of that, no one else has the power to tell you how you should and you should not be. The only one whose validation should matter is your own, because you are the only one who is living your life. No one else is living your life. And so again, sometimes we just think that other people's approval or validation is more important than our own because of the way that we were treated as kids. I feel like a lot of it comes from childhood trauma and the fact that if our parents didn't approve of us, now we think we have to have other people approve of us because it's a matter of survival, and if we don't get approval, then something is is wrong, we're not okay, we won't survive, because usually as kids, we do need parents' approval to survive. We do need our parents to love us. And so sometimes we change and we carry this into our adulthood, not realizing that you are not 5 anymore. You don't need anyone to like you for you to be okay, for you to survive, for you to be happy, for you to make friends. You know, even if you decided that you are no longer, you've grown and you've changed and you realize that you're not being authentic around your friends, like, you don't even need them to like you, because once you own your truth and validate yourself, you will attract people who like you for you and who won't judge you for who you are. It's just like with a body shape. I'm going to use this example, but it can be applied in many different ways. And this might be a very similar video to the last video that I've made, so I'm sorry if it's repetitive. But it's like, when you are a certain body shape and you are worried that someone won't like you, or you are worried for approval, listen, there is people who like different shapes. There's people who like curvy, there's people who like skinny, there's people who like fit, there's people who like flat, there's people who like overweight. There's everyone who likes everything, okay? So it's not that you won't be approved, it's that you don't approve of yourself, and because you don't approve of yourself, you think that people won't love you. But there's someone out there who will love you. You know, there are guys, believe it or not, that don't like skinny girls. They just don't like them. They like some meat on the body. And then there are guys who don't like meat on the body, okay? And it's just like, it's about, do you love how you are? Because I feel like I used to be the same weight that I am now. I actually don't know my weight now, but like a week or two ago, I used to be this weight when I was younger. And like back then, I was miserable. I hated it. I thought I'm ugly. No one is gonna love me. I thought I was fat. I thought I hated because like I'm just big and no one's gonna like me. And so I lived my life feeling like I'm a constant reject, constantly trying to hide my body, which by the way, I'm wearing this because I'm comfortable. And right now it's not a focus on my shape. It's a focus on the content. So, but back then I used to like hate myself and literally feel like so insecure and feel like no one's gonna love me because I'm fat and ugly. But it's like, I am the same weight now and I love my body. And I feel like I look better with a little bit of shape on me than I do when I was thick skinny. So like, I like myself, like I love my body. I don't feel like I have to lose a pound or gain a pound for me to be attractive. And paradoxically, I feel like people find me more attractive because I have some curves in the right places more. So like, it's just so funny to me because I look back and I'm like, damn, I was the same weight and the same height and I hated myself and I walked around feeling like I'm ugly, people are not going to approve of me, because I was not approving of myself, because I had a certain standard in my mind of what I have to look like for me to be accepted by everyone else. And eventually, of course, I became that standard. I was very thin. When I'm in heels, people are like, oh, you look like a model. And, I enjoyed it for a while, but then eventually I literally like forced myself to eat because I wanted to gain weight. Like, I don't know what went through my brain. But it's just like, I love my body the way that it is because I see it as like, this body gives you experience on earth. And paradoxically, the guys find me more attractive when I'm like not thick skinny. I don't know what it is, but like, it's just funny to me, the perspective shift. And the main thing that shifted was my acceptance of me. That's usually all it takes. All it takes is for you to accept you, because people feel energy. Sorry, still feeling nasally. Oh my God. All it takes is for you to accept you, for you to be okay with how you are, and then everyone else feels that. Especially when it comes to attractiveness. Attractiveness is energy. It's, you could say like, yes, it's physical looks, but it's really energy. It's like, how do you feel about yourself? Do you think you're hot? Do you think you're attractive? Because if you do, I guarantee you, you're gonna turn heads. Whatever you look like, okay, you're gonna turn heads because you feel it. People feel it. So not just body, with everything in life, with any kind of feature, any kind of attribute, it's the same. It's the same. Once you love yourself, once you fall in love with you, because you understand that any kind of rejection or not validation, you don't have to change anyone else's perspective, because you understand that it's just not a match and you don't want anyone who doesn't want you. It's simple as that, because you have enough self-respect to know that you only want to be with people who want to be with you. And when you come from that place and you're like, okay, this is how I am and I love myself, and right, people will love me for it, it just becomes a matter of filtering what's correct and what's not correct. And the way you validate yourself and fall in love with yourself is you first want to ask yourself, why do you feel like it's not good enough? Why do you feel like you won't be loved? Is it absolutely true that you will never be loved? Can you find proof in society that you will be loved, right? Is it possible to find proof for that? Like, even for this example, right? I'm sorry if I'm using the body as an example. I'm not sure if it's relatable or not. You can apply this to anything. Just replace body with whatever it is you want to be validated for, right? But let's just say, like, even that, when I was bigger back then, I was the same weight I am now. And I was like thinking I'm fat, and it's not that I was fat. I was just like more curvier, but it's like I thought I was fat in my brain because I thought I have to be like model skinny. And of course there's proof of girls that are bigger being happy and married and men adoring them. And now I feel that I'm even better like this. I like myself better like this, and no one rejects me for it. You know, I feel like I'm even more accepted for that because I accept me. So can you accept you? Can you find it within yourself to sit with yourself and to drop all the beliefs, to drop all the expectations of the world, to drop all the ideas that your family or society gave you, and adopt your own unique perspective and put that on the pedestal? Literally put yourself, your perspectives, your ideas, your needs, your preferences, your quirks on the pedestal, not higher than other people. I'm not saying you should be, oh my God, I'm better than other people. No, but you are priority for yourself. Your acceptance of yourself is number one. Everyone else is secondary, and they are all extra. Okay? They are all extra. No one else's approval or opinion should matter. And even when they do approve, it's funny, when you validate and you love yourself, other people's approval becomes kind of secondary too. Like, you don't even want it and you don't even need it. It's like, even these days, like when I like the way I look, I don't go around like thinking, oh my God, I'm the hottest chick alive, because I'm like, beauty is just like food. It's subjective. Like, some people like it, some people don't like it, and it's fine, and I don't care. And if someone likes the way I look, okay, thank you. And if someone doesn't, okay, whatever. It's just like food. You can apply this to everything. Every kind of attribute that you have is just like food. So can you find it within yourself to love and validate that this is just the way in which you are created to be? Universe made you this way, and if you don't like it, either change it or learn to love it and feature it and say, okay, I'm gonna rock it, I'm gonna own it, and someone is gonna love you for it. And whoever doesn't love you, it's just, again, oil and water. Okay, they like water and you are like oil. And if you own the fact that you are like oil and you stop pretending to be something you're not, you will be so much happier. And sure, some people might vibrate out of your life. I feel like I've polarized a good amount of people lately because I feel like I became very much unapologetic in my truth. Because I reached a point where I said, I can no longer give up my happiness for anyone. Like, I am not gonna, if I'm tired, if I don't want to do something, I am not gonna chase, I am not gonna respond. I will take a week, days to respond, and I'm not gonna care, because I'm very straightforward with people. Listen, this is the way that I am, this is what you can expect from me. Do not expect always a response the same day, because I don't respond the same day. And I tell this to people and I own it, and I don't care anymore. Before, I would always like give up myself, be like, oh my god, I need people to be approving of me. I have to communicate every day. I have to respond every day, because if I don't respond to people, they're gonna be mad. They're not gonna like me if I don't respond right away. Let them not like me. I made it very clear. I take forever to respond sometimes. Not always because I'm doing something. Sometimes I'm just not in the energy for it, and I just won't respond for like 3 days for no reason other than I don't feel like it. And I make it very clear. And you know what? Some people get mad, and some people are okay with it. And it gives them permission to take their time as well to respond. So, and I find people and I match with people who are okay with that, and they respect it, and they're not mad at me because they understand that this is just the way that I am. This is just what I need. Sometimes I need space, and I take my space, and I'm a lot happier as a result. Because when I would constantly give up myself and try to get people's approval by like, oh my god, I have to respond, I have to say things right away, otherwise people are gonna be mad, I'd come with this like heady energy. I am having storage issues on my phone, so I'm sorry if the camera angle keeps shifting. What I was saying is like, I would come with this energy of being very heady, and it was inauthentic, and it was very like, oh my god, I would give up myself for people all the time. And you know what's funny? Those people are no longer in my life. And I reached a point where I was like, you know what? No one is worth me giving up myself and my energy anymore. I will do what I need to do for me, because I have to make sure I am okay. I'm like, am I okay? If I'm okay and I have energy, I can give you energy, I can respond. Until I am full, I don't give a fuck anymore. I will take my time, because that's what I need. And yeah, some people get mad, but other people are okay with it, and it gives them permission to not respond for a while too, because, you know, people are busy, they do their own things. Sometimes we take forever to respond. It's totally fine. So that's just like an example of that, you know, it's never worth giving up yourself for other people, because other people, they come and they go. And I just realized this the hard way, that it's not worth it, because you're people pleasing someone that is probably not going to be in your life forever. And like, realistically, what are you even getting out of it? An ego gratification? But like, why? You come first. Are you okay? How do you feel? Are you happy? Are you okay? Is your cup filled? What do you need? Forget the other person. Not talking about being selfish, by the way, but I'm speaking to a person who's like, right now, you're just people pleasing. And that's not healthy. And, you know, paradoxically, when you make yourself happy, you have more to give. You make other people happier. It's like, if I'm with someone and, you know, they want to see me all the time, I would just deplete myself and be like not happy. And if I'm not happy and I'm around someone, they're gonna feel that. But if I say, no, I'm gonna take my time, I will see you when I have the energy, or I feel like seeing you, then the other person is also going to be happier, because I'm going to show up as my best self. And this goes for everything in life. When you put yourself first and you validate yourself and you prioritize meeting your needs, no one else is responsible for that. No one else is going to meet your needs. No one else is going to, and sometimes we want validation because like, we want something from the other person. Sometimes we want the other person to approve of us. We want them to like tell us that we're good enough, or maybe they will give us something in exchange. But like, do you really need that? Is it really worth you giving that up for someone that may not even be in your life? Like, you owe it to yourself to validate yourself and to put yourself first. And again, you are not going to become selfish doing this. You will just be a normal person who has a healthy self-esteem and fills their own cup first, because when you fill your own cup, you can then give more and you serve better, and it's just so much better. So point is that learn to validate yourself by understanding that your needs are important. How you are is okay. There is nothing wrong with you. No one else can tell you otherwise. If people tell you that you're not okay, something's wrong with you, you have to change, listen, you are oil. They are water. Are you going to listen to a completely chemically different molecule to tell you how to live your life? No one knows how to live your life. No one knows what you need. No one knows what will make you happy to the degree that you do. So the only one who can tell you what is and is not okay for you, what is and is not acceptable for you, for your life, for your experience, for your occupation, for your actions, is literally you. You are the only one who can do that, realistically speaking. So I hope that this video was helpful. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. If you have any other topic suggestions, comments is always available for that. Hope you got something out of this video. Thank you so much for being here. Sending you lots of love, and I'll see you in the next one.